Well, a very good morning to you. It's Andrew Eborn here. It's 5:55. Look alive! We're going to be taking you all the way today to Abbey Road, and thank you so much for joining me. We've been doing these early morning walks every day for the last few days, and it's been quite thrilling to see the various people joining me. We've been to London Zoo, we've been down to Regent Street to see what's going on down there. We've also been to lots of other places, Buckingham Palace, 10 Downing Street, and this is your chance to tour London live and exclusively here on Octopus TV. You're joining me now as we go through Regent's Park of a morning. Regent's Park is one of the lungs of London, as they always say. It's over 395 acres. The Regent's Park and Primrose Hill have outstanding places to enjoy wildlife with nearly 1,400 recorded species. It's also got over 211 species of bird, and indeed 22 pairs of grey heron, which nest every year in the tree over there like that. And bird spotters from all over the world come to Regent's Park to get their early morning fix. So if you are just joining me, and it's nice to see Andrew and Alison, good morning to you both. It's lovely to see you. And what we're doing today, we're walking all the way through Regent's Park. Several of you have been sending requests as to where you'd like to go of a morning. And I'm delighted that today we're going to take you all the way. Morning, Aline, how are you? Lovely to see you, up bright and breezy. Look alive, it's 5:55 and you're live here on Octopus TV as you join me, Andrew Eborn, for my morning walk. It's good to see you. I'm delighted that today several of you wrote in and say you'd like to join me on my various walks around London, and several of you requested that not only do we go to Regent's Park, but yesterday we went all the way down to see what retail was like. And I took you down Oxford Street, we went to New Bond Street and had a look round there and see exactly what's going on as London reopens. And what I found is that a lot of shops are in fact open, but the reality is the people have not yet come out. So the one thing we do need to do is to make sure that people go along to the shops, support your local shops, and that way we can find that we get back to business. For those of you just joining me, we're here in Regent's Park by the boating lake. I always say that birds of a feather flock together. Well, you'll see the different species. We have over 211 different birds here in Regent's Park. There's a wonderful guy called Tony Duckett. I always give him a shout out. He's in charge of the birds. This is for Canada Days coming up. And quite appropriately, we have lots of Canada geese. Canada Day is on the 1st of July. And every year they have had, to see what happens this year, but every year they've had celebrations. They have their embassy is right by Trafalgar Square, and Octopus TV has been involved with those a number of times. A wonderful, peaceful morning. As always, I'm the only one here. Nobody would be that crazy to get up this morning so early. 5:55 is when we started broadcasting live, and what we realise is that a lot of people basically good morning, how are you? You're right, sorry, don't want to disturb your early morning slumbers. So what we find is that every morning it's a great way to start the day. I normally would be up bright and breezy and would take you with me as we walk to the different places near my home in Regent's Park. And what a fantastic location. Some of the best properties in the world are based here in Regent's Park. It's a glorious way to start the day. And what I find, which is really, really interesting, is that the camaraderie and the depth and breadth of the different nationalities. London is perhaps one of the most diverse cities in the world, and we celebrate our diversity. When we had the Olympics here in 2012, it was probably one of the few countries in the world, few cities in the world, that could welcome people from every nationality, every country, with people from their own country. And what's happened about London now is some of the best food. We have fantastic Michelin star chefs. It's certainly improved since the days of the 70s, when it was famous just for a couple of things, fish and chips and roast beef. But now we have every possible nationality of cuisine. As I say, within the Regent's Park itself, we have over 211 different birds, different species that you can see, and all sorts of different ducks, from obviously the Canada goose that we saw earlier, but also the mute swan. And I was discussing yesterday about the mute swan, and there was a myth about all swans being owned by Her Majesty the Queen. In fact, it's just the unmarked mute swan which is owned by Her Majesty. Morning, Kaz, lovely to see you as well. You're joining me on my early morning walk through Regent's Park, and today, through popular demand, I'm going to take you all the way up to Abbey Road. So you're joining me, a slightly different route today, and what I've loved is that people have been writing in and saying, okay, we'd love to go on your journey. They're suggesting the different places to come and visit. So today, I thought we'd go to an icon of the music industry, probably the most famous recording studio in the world. So you're going to go all the way up to Abbey Road. If you're just joining me, we started at 5:55, live at 5:55 here on Octopus TV. And what's been really interesting in the last few days, I've been watching the news reports about Britain getting back and operating, and people are saying that there's lots of crowds in central London and things like that. So I thought I'd take you down and have a look myself. And those of you who joined me yesterday, you would see that I walked down Oxford Street, I walked down Regent Street, we went all the way through New Bond Street, one of the most retail streets in the world, and normally incredibly busy on a Saturday. And what I found is that it was virtually empty. The only people there, well, most of the stores, was me. And I had a chance to chat to a lot of the shopkeepers. Do check out those videos, because they are all still available online and also on Octopus TV, where you can find us on Daily Motion. You can also find us on YouTube, and coming to traditional channels soon as well. But what I found extraordinary is that even though we're open for business, a lot of people are still staying away. I'm taking you on a slightly different route this time. I'm taking you out of the park. Normally we would walk all the way up to the Regent's Canal and up to Camden. But today, in order to take you to Abbey Road, we go towards the east a little bit. So we're coming out now to the outer circle of Regent's Park. Some fantastic properties here. Crossing the road safely. This is over at Hanover Gate. And Hanover Gate is just where we come into the main road leading to the mosque. And this is the Central London Mosque. And you'll often see this on the news with various people. And the mosque itself has the most glorious chandelier, absolutely stunning. And you'll have a look as we go past. Those of you who just joined us, you're very welcome. It's Andrew Eborn here. We started at 5:55, live at 5:55. And we're taking people along my early morning walk, and by popular request, I'm taking you to the most famous recording studio in the world. We're on our way to Abbey Road Studios. It's quite thrilling here on the summer solstice. We just had that, June the 20th. I'm sure you all saw the pictures of Stonehenge. And we're celebrating in extraordinarily different ways at the moment, because obviously people can't gather in huge numbers, although London is trying to open up. What we saw yesterday is, as I took you around London, that you could see many of the fantastic stores that were there, and iconic stores which are open. I took you into Hamleys the other day. We saw how the demonstrators within Hamleys, the biggest toy shop, one of the biggest toy shops in the world, floor upon floor of toys, you'll be spoilt rotten. But what we noticed is that actually, whilst that was open, there was nobody else there, and I got some of the demonstrators to talk us through their products and so on and so forth. And it was a great opportunity just to have a look and see what's going on. Right, so this is the London Central Mosque, and this basically, the mosque itself, if you have a look, was founded in 1940, and it's a fruit of full cooperation of the UK government and the Muslim countries through the Muslim ambassadors in London and the Muslim community. It was opened by HRH King George VI on 1944, and the Executive Board of Trustees of the London Central Mosque comprise the ambassadors of many Muslim countries. They host events, they have libraries, interfaith activities, and so on and so forth. So this is the London Central Mosque Trust Limited and the Islamic Cultural Centre, and a glorious building. Fantastic. And Robin was breathalyzed outside the mosque, says Aline. There you go. And Aline's up early because people are arriving. Good heavens, we've got guests coming this morning. Well, what better way to start the day, Aline, than joining Andrew Eborn on his early morning walk all the way up to Abbey Road. It's so good to see you. And what I love about these sort of things, and the reason we started these early morning walks was I went to London Zoo. We see London is opening up wonderfully at the moment, and London Zoo opened just a few days ago. And what I saw, I thought I'd pop along. And here on ENN, what we like to do with Octopus TV is to give people a first-hand account of everything. Good morning and a happy Sunday to you too. AJ has joined us all the way from Hong Kong. Welcome AJ. By popular demand, we're starting again. It's live at 5:55, and 5:55 by popular demand, I'm taking everybody up to Abbey Road. So a place I'm sure close to your heart, one of the most famous recording studios in the world. We're going up there this morning, so if you'd like to come and have a look at that, you are very, very welcome. So we just walked past the London Central Mosque, and we're making our way up to what is, you will probably know around the corner, what they call the home of cricket. Now, the home of cricket, dating back to all the 1700s, is of course Lord's. Morning, Sammy. Sammy's joined us as well. Yes, thank you for all those wonderful messages. And Lord's is the home of cricket. I've been to several events there. And my good friend Monty Panesar, the famous England international spinner, an amazing chap. He's been on the show. We've had a great chat with him about sporting events and how those are operating in the current climate. Over here they have the St John's Wood Church, a wonderful church, and they have a nice little park next to it. It may not be open, the park next to it, but I'll take you over the road to have a look. In fact, I can see from here it's not open, but I'll take you over the road anyway. So this is St John's Wood Church. A lot of places are now opening up. Over there, this gives you a good view of Lord's Cricket Ground, where normally this time of year they'll be having lots of cricket matches, and I would pop along. It's very close to my home, as you can see. This is St John's Wood Church, and they're obviously working out all their different social distancing, because it's an interesting place and an interesting time at the moment about how things could work in these extraordinary situations. But this is the church itself, fantastic pillars. It's got gloriously high ceilings. And what I love about London is so much of it is available where people can just walk around. When you come as a tourist, you will see that you can just walk around London the same way as I've been taking you for the last several days. And there is so much to sample, so much to enjoy without having to spend any money at all. So at the moment this place is closed. This is St John's Wood Common Grounds, and normally, maybe on the way back, we'll be able to have a look at that. But the normal rules, they're talking about staying 2 meters away from everybody. That's one of the rules they're talking about revising, and we're going to see what happens in the next few days, because if they do change that, then I think what you'll find is that retail and various other places will start to open up. And one of the things that we've been doing from an entertainment point of view is to look at venues, look at how we might be able to get people to come and enjoy certain things. And the best way of doing that is obviously, if we can make that make sense, is to look at social distancing. So we've been trying things like the drive-in movies and so on and so forth. So this is Lord's Cricket Ground. Let's say this is the home of cricket, and fantastic friend Magi, hello, nice to see you. Hi my friend, you're watching, great to see you. You're joining me here live on Octopus TV. 5:55, it's Look Alive, and today I'm taking you up, by popular request, I'm taking you up to Abbey Road, the home of music, and one of the most famous recording studios in the world, where the Beatles recorded most of their music. We'll walk along the iconic streets, and what I'm showing you is that rather just hopping on taxis or buses or whatever, everything is possible to just do live and on foot if you can, because exploring the world on foot is actually a very, very easy way of doing things. So along we go. This is the outside of Lord's Cricket, where the fans would normally be all queuing up, ready to go inside. We're approaching the East Gate at the moment. You'll see the various properties, lots of flats, and the high ones obviously can watch all the matches without having to pay a penny, which is always a thrill. So the one over there is called Lord's View 1. Which is means you effectively get to see every single match that ever there was without having to spend a penny, so always a thrill. Morning, Sam Smith. There you go, Thursday's just got better. This is the home of cricket, Lord's Cricket Ground. This is the Grace Gate. See, it looks like a bit of a construction site at the moment. That's mainly because it is. And hi, I'm Ryan, nice of you to join us, thank you very much. So this is Lord's Cricket Ground, where they're hoping to be able to come in. This is the MCC ground regulations. Marylebone Cricket Club reserves the right of admission to Lord's Cricket Ground. All persons entering are liable to be searched, and quite right to. But you'll see they're doing quite a bit of construction work here, getting it ready for when they might be able to have a look and get that sorted. If you're joining us, we are on our way to Abbey Road, where by popular request we've been asked to show people what's going on there. We've got shows coming up, fantastic. Oh, Magi, there we go. They're in the public. The only thing basically you have to do is he's not allowed to bring anybody on stage. Oh, that's fantastic. Whereabouts are you? Where are you from at the moment, Magi? He comes up with this fantastic caretaker act, so it's always a joy to see him. Thank you very much. And it's fascinating. We've had some great magicians, we've had some great performers, we've had lots of wonderful artists on the show already this in the last couple of weeks. And we started the show very recently, in fact. It's only been, it does feel like ages and ages and ages. But we started very recently just because people were at home. They wanted a chance to speak about their lives in lockdown. There we go, you can have a look over there. There's the famous pitch, which you can see. That's normally where we are, Lord's Cricket Ground, and you can see what's going on. Nothing, basically, but the principal, the private guests and the boxes here are very interesting. And what you have, this is important, they have their racism policy, and their bicentenary gate that's now closed, and obviously for the season, then this will need to be looked at. We have a lovely place called the Pavilion over there, so lots of different places for you to see as you join us live in London. You're joining me as I walk all the way along near St John's Wood, and we're making our way specifically off to various other things. Magi Jake is in Ohio. Thank you for joining us in Ohio. We have viewers from all over the world, and what I love about this is that we have lots of people from different walks of life are able to come and join me live on the show, talk about their lives, their experience in these most extraordinary times. And it's been an absolute thrill to have people. But also what I like is you get the first account. Morning! Woo, almost fell, well done. How's it going, you all right? When are they opening up again, do you know? You don't know, a bit tricky, isn't it? But you've been okay. They kept you busy all the time. Fantastic. So this is Lord's. You're seeing this live for the first time. No sign of opening up. They're not quite sure what's going to happen. But it is the home of cricket and the home of MCC and Middlesex cricket. I have been here several times, seen several of the matches that they play. And my good friend Monty Panesar has given us guided tours. They have the Thomas Lord suite. There you go. So you can sometimes get pampered a little bit on that basis. Typical, just to prove that we are in London. You have a London telephone box, but who knows when people use telephone boxes these days. Be very interesting to work out if anybody's ever, in the last few months, ever needed to use a telephone box. Streets relatively quiet at this time in the morning. And in a minute we're going to be turning round the corner as we approach Abbey Road. If you've just joined us, we were here at 5:55, starting out live. You're joining me, Andrew Eborn, on my early morning walk. And every day we set off. We've been looking at doing various things to keep people informed. I always try and show you the maps because it gives you an idea of where we are. So there's Lord's Cricket Ground, as you can see. The You Are Here, which is just on this corner, the Liberal Jewish Synagogue, the Roman Catholic Church of Our Lady, Westminster Council offices, and we're going to make our way along here. This is Grove End Road, and we're going to turn here and all the way, there's our destination, we're going all the way up to Abbey Road. Starting to rain a little bit here now, a little spit, but we will survive. Don't forget, do tune in over on Octopus TV. We have lots of fantastic interviews with some of the greats, the good, and everyday heroes have been joining me live on Octopus TV. But also we've recorded some fantastic interviews with people in the past. We've had legendary promoter Harvey Goldsmith joined me to talk about life on lockdown. So we talked about obviously Live Aid, all the way from Live Aid to lockdown, but spoke about his early days and what he's been up to these extraordinary times. We've also had Toya, my good friend Toya, the fantastic musician, who talked about how she's been adapting with her husband Robert Fripp, and they produce these superb videos every morning. They would normally be incredibly busy. Morning, Mark, nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. They would normally be incredibly busy at this time, and obviously all the tours and so on and so forth have been postponed, and we're very much hoping that they'll be coming back very soon. For those of you not used to London, these are sort of iconic sites where you have these little red telephone boxes. I've shown you this is a post box, but you have the red telephone boxes as well. They do their regular collection. You're joining us. We have also the red London buses. So buses are great in London because you can get around. They run throughout the night. That is the one, and that goes all the way down to Waterloo. But you can they run like the arteries sending the blood round London, which is superb. As you join me, I'm on my way to Abbey Road as requested. Lots of people saying they wanted very much to see London and to see it firsthand. So what I've done, I've brought people in a very interesting way to turn around and say, okay, well, I'll take you wherever you want to go. You're very, very welcome to join me. So today we're walking up here, and you get some fantastic properties all around London. And as I say, on the main show, and do subscribe to Octopus TV. If you go over to Daily Motion, on Daily Motion we have over 500 videos have been recorded, lots of different interviews that I've had with the great and good of the world, and I'm absolutely thrilled that they've been able to join me live in my studio. We conduct the interviews remotely, obviously, with appropriate social distancing, obviously sometimes several thousand miles. I've had people in Australia, I've had people in Zambia talking about their lives, and not just the rich and famous. We've had lots of famous people, lots of famous sports people, lots of famous musicians, famous actors, and so on and so forth. But we've also had people from other forms of life. We've had some top chefs who've been teaching us how to cook. And the great thing is, for me, is that they're all available. They're all at home, all wondering what to do. So they come on the Andrew Eborn Show. And if you'd like to come on the Andrew Eborn Show, do let me know. You can write to me at lol, that's LOL, at octopustv.com. And I'll bring you on the show. It'd be great to speak to you about your life and how we might be able to do things together. Because sharing those experiences is what makes a huge difference to people. And what you find is that it is quite extraordinary that people can get a lot of comfort in other people about their own experiences. And one of the things that I'm an advocate of, and for time have been talking about mental health. And mental health is so vitally important that people do talk. If you talk, then you'll be able to find that you're not alone. Now, these are the bikes which you can hire if you come to London. These are the Santander bikes. They're populated all over London. They used to be the Barclays bikes, or the Boris bikes. Now Santander did the sponsorship, so they should be called the Santander Cycles, I think, if you're going to make that make sense. But again, just showing you where we are on the map. Very helpfully, you are here, which is at Circus Road, and we're making our way up Grove End Road, and then we're going to be there on Abbey Road in just a couple of minutes. There you go. And you can see the St John's Lodge and various other things. So off we go through the cycles. And what I love about this time in the morning is that you get a chance to hear the birds. London is waking up. It's waking up slowly, and not just today, but if yesterday I took you down Regent Street, I took you to Oxford Street, I walked you through the park, and you're seeing it at first hand all opening up. And the interesting thing is that all the shops are indeed starting to open up, but there's very, very few people. Now, here we are approaching Abbey Road. You'll start to see some iconic things, not least the most iconic zebra crossing in the world. And I have to say, as this is very close to my home, that it's also one of the most annoying zebra crossings in the world, because how many times do people recreate that moment with the Beatles? Well, I will take you step by step. You can have a look. Here we are. This is the zebra crossing. There we go. I can show you. Very famous. This is where John Paul. There we go. Over here. And so if you see behind me over there like that, that is the actual crossing on Abbey Road. If you look behind me, you can see the Abbey Road Studios, which we're just about to go to. But a lot of people, this is what they do. They walk in that extraordinary way. And there you go, I'll walk across. We can do it a few times. It doesn't annoy anybody at this time in the morning. So this is me on the fantastic Abbey Road crossing. And as I say, a lot of people will turn around and they'll say, okay, this is where you come. This is where the Beatles walked, so that famous album on the Abbey Road album. And what there is, over there, they have a recording so you can see it live each time. And these are the studios. These are the famous Abbey Road Studios. It is closed to the public. You can't actually go in, although they have got a shop here. What you'll find is lots of people come along and they put their little messages to everybody. Abbey Road itself, it started out as a private house, and you can see, there we are, this is the Beatles Forever. So those of you joining me, you're watching live. We are here at Abbey Road Studios, and you're joining me, Andrew Eborn, for Octopus TV. And what we have is Abbey Road itself. It started as a recording studio in 1931. When it was acquired, it previously was a private residence, a 9-bedroom private residence, and it was acquired by the Gramophone Company. And they had Sir Edgar Elgar started off, and he played Land of Hope and Glory on that glorious moment. Morning, Eddie, nice to see you. We're here live at Abbey Road Studios, and you can't join me on my early morning walk as we have a look. Now the studios, I've had the great joy of coming to the studios for a number of things. We've recorded with many artists here. I'll show you pictures of those a little bit later. But we basically have been through these glorious gates. We can get that fantastic shot behind. And what's really interesting is, as I say, one of the most famous recording studios in the world. You're joining me. Hello, Ken. Nice to see you. You're joining me live outside Abbey Road Studios on the early morning walk that we do here on Octopus TV. We started at 5:55. Look alive, it's 5:55. And a lot of people said they wanted to pop down and have a look at these different iconic places near me in London. And as I say, Abbey Road Studios was set up as a studio in 1931. And before that, it was a private house. And it has, if you remember, it has been the most iconic recording studio in the world. It has been closed fairly recently because of the virus, but it's just in the process of opening up. We've had people through the doors already, and so people are going to start recording here. And we've recorded a number of artists. There's the windows for the Beatles. If you remember on the Abbey Road album, you'd see them popping their head out of those famous windows behind me. And what we found is that a lot of people are now coming back. Abbey Road itself is used not just for filming different projects, but also obviously recording some fantastic albums. Many people have been recorded here. Most famously, the Beatles recorded most of their hits and most of all their material right here in Abbey Road. And what we also have, what we've also found, is that they've started to do a lot of film music here. So in addition, some of the greatest scores in history have been recorded at Abbey Road, and my very good friend works here as well. So we'll get you inside. I think when it opens, we'll get you a nice little private tour. You can join me, Andrew Eborn, for an exclusive tour next time. Morning, Jonathan. It's always an early start. I was here at 5:55. We were live, and we're live outside Abbey Road by popular request. And I was just saying that one of the things that we do here is we've recorded a number of holograms with my good friends Alex and Jake and the team, and Alan and Edwin. And we've had people like Bob Geldof have been down here. We recorded them in holograms where they are basically preserved for life. They will be the best performance they will ever give. And that was recorded live at Abbey Road. We also had The Damned and Captain Sensible, and inside famous Studio 2. Studio 2 is where the Beatles studio was, and there was still Mrs. Mills' piano, and I was with Captain Sensible, who knocked out a tune on Mrs. Mills' piano, so that was always a joy. We had Carol Decker down here, and lots of the people have been recording live, and their holograms, they're like that. So this is, you're just joining us, this is the famous Abbey Road, which since 1931, when it was acquired by the Gramophone Company, it has been the most iconic place in music. And you see, we get lots of the graffiti. People come along here, the fans come along and they write their messages, and to all the people in the hope. And every now they don't mind them writing their messages. They actually work on that sort of rats. There you go. Oh, it sort of says rats. Together forever. Closed to the public. But over there we've got the iconic doors and things like that. So you're joining us live here at Abbey Road Studios. Anyway, that was a real fun. We have over here the famous crossing, as I say, one of the most iconic crossings in the world, and quite irritating for some people. If you're trying to drive down here, then it does get very, very tricky. But I'll walk you over so you get that sort of sense of feeling, because this is where the Beatles famously had that album cover. And behind us, let's have a look. Behind us, they have a 24/7 live stream. I'll show you that. And the 24/7 live stream is just over there. There's a little camera. So you can go and check at this particular time in the morning, and you will see that it's me walking across the zebra crossing. There we go, that famous zebra crossing. Anyway, it's been an absolute delight. Thank you so much for joining me on my early morning walk. I'm going to be heading back now to Regent's Park. I wish you a fantastic day, whatever you're doing. Don't forget, tune in to Octopus TV, because we will be back again. We're live on air virtually every day, or whenever I feel like it, really. But today I thought live at 5:55, Abbey Road was the place to bring you, and Abbey Road is where we are on this glorious moment. Don't forget, if you want to see lots of those exclusive interviews, subscribe to Octopus TV. You can go over to Dailymotion now. And if you want to be in touch, if you'd like to be on the show, I'd love to have you. We have lots of people, from the rich and famous to everyday folk, have been on the Andrew Eborn show on Octopus TV. Write to me at lol, that's LOL, at octopustv.com. But in the meantime, whatever you're doing today, have a fantastic day. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much. God bless. Bye.